Hello, today I'm going to talk about this lens right here, Sigma 50 to 100mm F1.8 EF mount. Let's get it. If you know cameras, then you must know how good of a lens the Sigma company makes. This lens right here is 50 to 100. It is such a good lens and it's such a versatile lens as well. It also has a friend who say hello to my little friend. Anyways, this is another lens by Sigma. They're both APS-C lenses, however, they both have f1.8 and they're such a good versatile lens. This was 80 to 35, which is wide enough, and also it's a perfect amount when you can shoot a lot of things. And this is 50 to 100, which is really ideal for portrait photography, wildlife, sports, and stuff like that. The good thing about them is people most of the time trying to buy Trinity lenses, which is 40 to 24, 24 to 70, and 70 to 200. I personally have 14 to 24 and 24 to 70. However, both of them are Sigma. I don't have 70 to 200 because Sigma hasn't never made one. But there are rumors that they might make one soon, which I can't wait. This is, on the other hand, is completely different. This one has way wider lens, 18 to 35, and this is 50 to 100. Usually you never use like 45, it's 18 or like 16, 24, 35, 50, 85, and a 100 or 125. These two lenses is pretty much a Trinity as well. Like you almost cover long range, all the way from wide all the way to the long lens, right? With these two combos, it's also super cheap. I love this. If you're shooting FX30, if you're shooting any APS-C camera, if you're shooting Ursus or Blackmagic, all you need these two lenses to start with, and you can do a lot of things. That was one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about, how important it is having these two lenses, because with these two lenses you will cover most of your shots, most of your focal length. That being said, let's get into details about this specific lens, why I recently purchased this, how did I buy it, why did I buy it, and what I'm going to be using. Alright, first of all, I want to talk to you guys, why did I buy it? The reason I bought this is because I have an Ursa Mini, which I shoot a lot of my bigger projects, and I have only 80 to 35. Sometimes I rent the lenses, but most of the time I have 80 to 35. And on my last short film, the director asked, hey, can you shoot a little closer? I didn't have anything, so I had to come in, and the person, when you come in closer, it looks a little bit distorted. So I purchased this. Because it has 50 to 100. It does ideal for a portrait shot or a super close-up shot. And they both are Sigmas and they both have f1.8. However, the good thing is, if I ever want to use it with my FX30 or with my Sony A7 IV, I have this guy as well. This is MC11 adapter. This adapter will allow you to connect EF mount to your E-mount with an autofocus. How much did it cost? I searched it up online, I searched it up B&H, I searched it up on Amazon. It cost around 1,200, 1,300 plus tax. However, I bought it from Facebook Marketplace. I recently visited my family members in Ottawa, and somebody was selling there for really cheap. It was $700. The lens is in a really good shape. I looked at it everywhere. There's no scratches, there's nothing like that. It has a UV filter on top for not having any scratches. The back is super clean as well. It has no scratches, a little bit of scratch at the bottom, but this is just a color. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, it was in a really great shape. I bought it right away. I'm like, hey, this is a great lens. I did a couple of tests on it on my Sony, and everything worked perfectly. So it was no-brainer. All right, now I'm going to talk about small specifications, the weight, the focal length, and all that. And then from there, we're going to get into key features. First one being a focal length. You already know this is 50 to 100. Its minimum aperture of f16. Its maximum aperture is 1.8. The filter size 82mm. Weight of this lens is 1,490 grams, which comes into 3.3 pounds. It is a little hefty, a little on the heavy side, but honestly, it makes sense. It's f1.8. There's too many blades in there. One bad thing about it is the minimum focus. It is 0.95, which is a meter. Meter is probably around 3 feet. Yeah, you can't get a perfect lens. Obviously, it does a lot of things, but the minimum focus is not the best. All right, those were all the small specification. I'm gonna get to key features, what I love about it, what I don't like about it, and why would you want to purchase this lens. First things first, it's zoom range. As I said earlier, it's 50 to 100. Because of that focal range, it does a lot of things. Photo, portrait photography, videography. Use it as a close-up shot. Also, you can have an animal photography, shoot birds, big animals, go to the zoo and try this lens as well. You can also use it for sports photography. It's not the best. Yeah, you can do so many other things. Most of the time, honestly, all you're gonna need is just this lens. Second one is f1.8 f-stop. This guy will give you super smooth, super creamy bokehs that everybody wants, everybody loves. Especially if you're somebody who's just getting into a film world, all you hear is like, oh, I want to have that cinematic background with flares and bokehs in the background. this is the guy that will give you that, especially if you shoot at f1.8 in 100mm. It's beautiful. It has a slight distortion on the corners, but outside of that, it gives you perfect bokehs that you really want, and with the price that it comes with, not breaking your bank. Third one is tripod color. I'm not gonna lie, when I was looking for this specific lens, I was confused because why does it have a tripod color? But after purchasing it, after actually having it on my hand, I know why. It is a pretty heavy lens. You can't just put it on your camera. It will kind of probably damage it in a certain way because it's so heavy. So now it makes sense why I need the color. Color also moves around. You just twist this knob right here and I move around. You'll hear the click. You can't really take it off. However, you can move around. I would love it to be able to take it off, but I guess that's not the option in this case. Because of that, you can use for sports or for animal photography and stuff like that. That's why that's another really good reason for you to purchase this, because it can come in handy. Number 4 is dust and splash proof. Like so many other Sigmas, they say it's not weatherproof. It cannot be 100% weatherproof. It is dust and splash proof, and it can actually uphold a lot of things. I've thrown my 24-70 to a lot of things. I've shot on rainy days, I shot on snowy days, I shot on really dusty days, and nothing happened. It does get a little dusty, especially rubbery parts right here. When you use it a lot, probably dirt piles up, but you can clean it up. It's not the easiest thing to clean it up, but you can do it. It is not a weatherproof, but it will take a lot of beating towards it because it's also full metal lens. That's why it will probably uphold a lot of beatings. Please don't drop it. Now, 2 things I have that I don't like about this lens specifically. The first one being is OS, which is optical stabilization. I know they stuffed a lot of things into this lens. Like, it's 50-100. It is f1.8 and has so many blades. It's heavy as hell. It has a color and all that, but I wish they added just one thing: optical stabilization. I genuinely think they probably could have, if they wanted, they could have done it. Nowadays, obviously every camera has its own built active stabilization. If you're shooting a lot of handheld or if you're shooting a Ronin, that doesn't really matter. However, if I want to shoot like wild photography, or if I want to shoot a soccer or basketball or anything like that, sport related, I would love to have an optical stabilization. Such a hard word. I would rather have an OSS. It would be such a game changer. I would love this lens even more. That is the one bummer about this lens that I do not like. Second one is it is an APC. I know, like I mentioned, you can be a full frame lens and be this. I guess it is thin for APC. It is pretty thick, but for full frames, it's not even that thick. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not like big for a full frame lens. However, for APC, this is one of the, like, I'm not sure if they can make something full frame f1.8 50-100, but I wish they did it. And I've tried using it on my full frame cameras, which is a FX3 and Sony A7 IV. It gives you that vignette and it cheeses me because I have to get into an APC mode on my cameras, and that way I will kind of lose a little bit of quality. My sensor kind of crops in. If this is a full frame, it kind of goes into a smaller version. I won't be able to use my full frame. That's the whole point. I purchased that camera for extra money. I cannot complain because this lens exists. It is an APS-C. I can use it with my Ursa to Super 35mm, but I just wish it was a full frame. Third thing that I don't like about this lens is it is EF mount. I don't like it because I have to use an adapter. That means there's going to be extra thing that I have to worry about at all times if I want to use it with my E-Mount. They created this lens a long time ago when Canon were the trendy thing. Everybody used to use a Canon. Oh my god, any other camera did not exist. It was just Canons, maybe Nikons, maybe Fujifilm. Sony was nowhere to be found. But now, because everything is a Sony mount and everything is an E-Mount, why can't you just take it apart and just add a freaking E-Mount in a pack, and I don't have to use this stupid adapter? My autofocus would be even faster. I wish they could change those 3 things on this lens. Even if it costs a little more money, I would probably purchase. I used this lens so far only a couple of times since I purchased it. Honestly, the image that it provides, the quality of the image that you get from this lens is absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. If you're doing a lot of nighttime photography, nighttime portrait photography, this is the lens to go. You will have a beautiful bouquets, a lot of room to play with when it comes to f-stop. Yes, it has some flaws, like the things that I spoke about. It has some flaws. Nothing is perfect in this world, just as this lens. If there were a perfect lens, everybody would have bought it by now. That was pretty much it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys today. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys did, as always, thumbs up if you liked this, thumbs up if you loved it. And I will see you guys on my next episode. Ciao.